All right, this first match review comes to us from good old BlckOrb on YouTube. 700 plus hours in the video game. So approaching that adept area of 1,000 plus hours where they would, know most of the stuff having to do with good old Debbie Delight. Because it's a Myers match, which, if you guys do not know, Myers is my first and original main in this game. The reason I started playing Dead by Daylight is because I wanted to play as Mookie Myers. That is the reason I got into the game. So this was my first and OG main. So I know a great deal about this character and how to play him efficiently. So perfect character subject to send in to me. Rancid Arbitrage was the most balanced core map before its update, and it got nerfed even more to be a little bit more on the killer side of things since the Corn Coldwind update. So not a bad map for you to deal with, even as arguably the weakest killer in the game. So let's take a look at your add-ons and your perks. Let's see what we're dealing with. Let's see, you got double stock, which is what I like to use. I like to use double stock speed. The most optimal combo, if you're not going for Tombstone or Infinite, which is obviously the OP broken stuff. The other combo you want to do here is J. Myers Memorial and Hairbow. So you do speed and duration. Never do Lock of Hair. Lock of Hair lowers your ability to get into tier 3 too much for the amount of time it gives you. So Hairbow is actually your best version of your duration add-on. So you can do J. Myers Memorial and Hairbow. Although these are what I use the most because I like to have my tier 3 early to get early pressure. So yeah, this is what I use. These add-ons are fine, but that's your other option if you want to try a different playstyle. Is Myers Memorial, J. Myers Memorial, and Hairbow. In terms of your build is pretty good. You have 2 slowdown, Jolt, obviously all of his attacks end in M1, Corrupt, because Myers is a setup killer, so it takes you some time to get started. Save is kind of like good on any killer that doesn't really have a chase ability like Myers, but keep in mind that Myers is also an insta-down killer, so you're not going to be as that was a good one. That got me. I had no idea what was happening. I'm like, I have the game literally paused. I have the video literally paused. So I don't know what the heck is going on. Thank you for the 500 bits, friend. Yeah, keep in mind that you're not going to build stacks as easily because half the time you're going to be insta-downing people. And your only way to save stacks is by tier 3ing on a person, which may not be convenient. So save, while it is the best slowdown, non-slowdown perk in the game, doesn't really have a lot of synergy with the character it comes with. So just keep that in mind. Dissolution, it's a fun perk. It's an interesting perk, but it's not really the best. Not really the best. If there was a perk I would slip out or switch out here, it would definitely be Dissolution. I'd put like an info perk here, or like, maybe Deadlock, so you can have even more time to set up your stock, that sort of thing. He. I love the way Brian says he. Dissolution on insta-down killers? No. Yeah, it has anti-synergy because, like, if you're in tier 3 and you down someone, Dissolution's gonna go off, but like nothing matters, like, because you've already downed the guy. So it does have anti-synergy. You're right in that regard. Because the whole way you get value out of Dissolution is by hitting them, and then because you hit them, Dissolution's active. Yeah, this isn't your fault. Oh wow, he does not actually see you there. That is wild. And homie just keeps going. Be careful about getting somebody this stocked up early, because you're one of the few characters in the game that can actually literally run out of their power. You have to be careful about saving stock on characters for later in the match. You gotta it's kind of like Oni, where you got to think about where your blood is throughout the match so you can stay in your power. Myers, you got to think about how much you've stocked certain people so you can stay in your power throughout the match. So don't stock somebody to this point where they're bright glowing red. You want to save a bit on them. That way you have at least enough to pop your tier 3 if you're 99. So I'd be careful about that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, because you do get the early down and you do get the jolt, but just keep in mind this may work against you because now you essentially can't get a tier 3 off of Vittorio for the rest of the game now. So that is a trade. That is a trade you have made. It may work out in your favor, but you also may not. It also may not. So you have essentially made it to where you now have to get your stock from other players for the rest of the game. So that is may not work out in your favor. See, like, Dissolution's going off, but it doesn't matter because like you sit down the guy. So like even if you throw in a pallet, like yeah. You saw this person going this way. This is where Hairbow's a good add-on because like if you had duration here, you would have been able to like fully commit to chasing this person, and you would have a lot of tier 3 left. Currently, you only have half. Which isn't the worst thing in the world. Somebody did tap that gen. Somebody tapped that gen over to your left. You hit that with Jolt. You watched it spark with Jolt, and now it's not sparking anymore. So you need somebody to tap that. So you didn't see that. I like the mind game. I bring this up in a lot of the match reviews. This is called purposeful kicking. Purposeful kicking. You always want to kick the pallet on the side that denies the survivor the most resources. So, by kicking it on this side of the map, Tap now has the entire map available to him to run to be able to escape you. There could be a tile over here, there could be a tile over there, tile over here, he has main building behind him. He has essentially the whole map to play with. However, if you kicked it on where he's standing, literally there's nothing behind you except the wall. So Tap would have nothing to work with except the wall. So what I would do here is rotate around the loop one more time and then kick it on this side. That way Tap has nothing to deal with. Nothing to help him escape with. But as you can see now, he gets to go all the way into the map. Now he makes it to main building because you kicked it on the wrong side. So definitely practice purposeful kicking. Saves you a lot of heartache and problems. You can swing over this, by the way. If he hugs this too tightly, you can hit over the railing. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, you would have had it down on him if you kicked that on the right that pallet on the right side, but now you don't. Now you do not, which is unfortunate. I remember one time I called out Stabiffle at one stack, and somebody was like, "What? How did you do that?" I'm like, "I don't know." And I was right. It was funny. Do you know how Dissolution works? Or did you just throw this perk on because you thought it was fun? The whole point of the perk is you injure the guy, and then when they vault in the middle of the chase, it breaks the pallet. Why did you kick that there? If you had looped one more time and he had vaulted, he would have broken it. It seems like you don't know how to get the most out of this perk, which makes me think you should get rid of it even more. Yeah, as an M1 killer, I would definitely break that. Right now, I'm noticing you've committed a lot of time to this chase. You should start thinking about breaking off this chase. You know where people are because you know they were trying to get this gen to your left done. So I would go check on that gen right now. Because you've gotten, like, a couple pallets out of Tap. He's injured, so he has to go heal. So he has pressure on him. Good mind game. Very, very good mind game. Very well played. Luckily, he got caught by that mind game, so it ended up working out, but yeah, this gen's almost done. And realistically, you're at 2 gens, because that gen's 99, and they have another one that's, like, really far along. And that one right there is 4th to a half. Yeah, it's at a half. So that's not good. I would have stocked and popped tier 3 here. That's why Jolt is really, really good on Myers. Is because you can just pop your tier 3 and get value on someone out of nowhere. That's what makes Myers like really, really strong. Like really, really strong on in terms of like chase. Is like somebody could be completely healthy and you just like have your tier 399, so you just show up and pop them, and it's like they don't even get a chance to loop. Which synergizes well with Jolt, because if you're trying to, you know, slow down a specific gen, that could be very, very helpful to just suddenly just pop somebody and get immediate value out of the perk. But you just chose to hit her here, which I'm not sure why. Maybe to build Stabiffle stacks. But you could have jolted both this gen and the gen to the left that's 99 and slow down the game a fair bit. Yeah, now you don't jolt any of the gens that are that you've been actively needing to defend. Okay, I would go pick up. Yeah. Okay, well now... Yeah, now there's multiple people around. She either got picked up or she had Unbreakable. Okay, you need to commit to a side here. You need to commit to a side. Yeah, you needed to commit to a side there. You just gave him extra time for no reason. That gen they've been working on, you kind of let go despite being right there the whole time. But so you know that guy's nearby. You gotta be careful. Luckily he didn't notice or didn't even attempt to go for it. I'm gonna say right now, there was no reason this gen over here should have popped. You knew they were working on it, and you had multiple opportunities to down people to jolt it, and you chose to chase other people away from it. This gen over here should not have popped. And now they're, like I said, you're down to 2 gens realistically, because there are so many gens nearly done. Lucky you caught him while 99'd. Okay. Yeah. If he sticks by, this would be a good... I would down him here to get Joel on that gen. It should be easy peasy. Yep. Built the gen. Good, good. Yeah, I'd hook him nearby. Because one of the things is, like, I've talked about this in other matches, is called creating hotspots. So, like, you essentially set up an area of the map where you want to chase most of the time, whether that be because you have a pain res hook over here, or you have jolt and you want to jolt the gens in this area. It's creating a hotspot. So essentially by putting Dwight here next to the gen that you're trying to regress, people have to come through here to go get him, which means all your chases are going to take place over here, which means that you're going to be getting more jolt value on that gen, and if they want to heal up, they have to get away from this area where the gens are mostly completed. It's called creating a hotspot, so it's a good thing you're doing right here. Because your hotspot here is like these 2 hooks, main building, and then like the gen to the left of it. So that's a good thing to do. But you're leaving it, so never mind. But you're leaving it. You're taking a field trip. Yeah, you just took a really, really long field trip instead. See what I'm saying now that like you have Vittorio here, but like you can't stalk him anymore. He's essentially like out of the game in turn. You're out of your power for all intents and purposes while chasing Vittorio, which is no bueno. Yeah, you created a good hotspot and then you just left it. It's not great. Now you're going to chase it Shaq as an M1 killer? Like, I'm not sure about this, Chief. Looping with friends. Looping with friends. Honestly, you need to go for Vittorio here. You need to go for Vittorio. You put a lot of pressure on him and you're at 1 gen. You need to get people out of the game. You need somebody dead a gen ago. You don't have that situation, so you need to make it happen. They let Dwight hit second, which makes me think that they're just greeting the last gen. He got hit that pallet once with a mind game. He's not letting it happen again. He's like, no, 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 not again. Yeah, he knows. He knows what you want to go for. I think leaving this hotspot. Oh, you hear that gen 99 as the last gen immediately to your right, and you're going to choose to keep chasing Tap. That is single-handedly what is going to lose you this game. You heard the gen to your right 99, and you ignore it. Last gen. You turn around, you pop that 99 tier 3. Well, you don't even have to pop that 99 tier 3. Everybody's injured. You turn around, you down that person, jolt. Hook him. And now you create your hotspot around this gen that's 99. Boom. Gen starts regressing. You ignore that. That's your number one mistake. Right there. That's why you're in a rough spot this match. Well, it's not why you're in a rough spot, it's the whole match, but like, that was, you gave that up for free for no reason. Because you got obsessed with downing this tap. Who you have spent most of the match chasing for at least 2 or 3 minutes, which is another reason you're in this situation. You want this tap way too badly. You let him get in your head, and now you've thrown the whole match for him. And all he's doing is, like, just chucking pallets safely. Like, he's not doing anything, like, crazy. You are quite possibly the worst character in the game, playing Myers. Other contenders being, like, Trapper Pig. Right? You are not able to mind game a jungle gym pallet. Whether it be L-wall or long wall. The only way you're going to be able to consistently mind game a jungle gym pallet is if the people are really, really freaking bad. Do not try to mind game these pallets. That is just a waste of time. Do not do that. Twitch is melting. Maybe try pulling some ice on it. That'll help. Do I not have scalability today? I know if you put on 720, you're supposed to more often have scalability. So you finally get the tap, but at what cost is the question? At what cost is the question? Yeah, that was a massive overcommit. On both the chases with him, too. On both of those chases, that was a massive overcommitment. I don't think the perks really played a big part in this match, to be honest. Alright, okay, so this match went wrong for a multitude of reasons, but I'm going to try to synthesize it down to just 2 or 3 of, like, the big ones, the big main takeaways. That way you can actually, like, you know, focus on something. Keep in mind all the things I've said throughout the match, because there's a lot of, like, tiny mistakes that added up, but I want to try to break it down to, like, the main 3. So, in terms of your main takeaways, your first one, and your one that probably cost you the most, is this tap was in your head. I don't know if it was just, like, I don't know what happened between you and him. I didn't say anything. He didn't teabag you or anything to, like, agitate you, but for some reason, you just wanted to go after tap for whatever reason. You had several very, very long chases with him. Chases in Dead by Daylight need to be on average 30 to 40 seconds, and if your chase is getting over 50 seconds, you better start thinking about leaving. And there were many times, there was twice, 2 different instances, both with a Gen 99, one much more serious than the other because it was the last gen. But there were 2 situations where a gen was like 90% plus, and you just walked by it and didn't pressure that gen at all because you were so focused with downing tap. So I don't know what this tap did to you, but you committed to extremely long chases with him. And that's probably the #1 reason you lost this match, is because you actively ignored gens nearby that were 90+% done, which means you should knock them off of those if it's convenient. And you chose not to. You chose not to. And especially when you have a perk like Jolt, where, like, turning around and getting an easy down and regressing the gen doesn't even require you to kick it, like, there was literally no reason not to. I say this a lot in the match reviews, that, like, the quickest form of slowdown is a quick chase, but the keyword, the asterisk there that I put, is on the quick. The quick chase. You couldn't down this tap very easily. Every chase you've had with this tap lasted an extremely long period of time. And you can't hang your hat on that. You needed to find other people to reach your chase, like the Vittorio. The Vittorio seemed to, you know, bless his heart, he didn't seem to loop very well. So, like, you should have focused on, like, him or Dwight. Dwight went down pretty quickly, but for some reason you wanted to go get Tap, and Tap was just consistently chucking pallets and making your life hard. So you should not have focused him for that long. The second thing is the thing I pointed out, is you created several hotspots in this match where you had a lot of pressure in one area, and for some reason, 115 killer without a movement ability, you decide to just globetrot around the map. If you like having a huge map presence, there's plenty of other killers to play. You can play Blight, you can play Spirit, you can play like Oni, you can play. There's plenty of killers that have movement abilities that help them go around the map and pressure the map as a whole. Myers is a 115 killer with a knife. He has 0 movement ability. Matter of fact, he is he is a slower killer because he has to start the match in tier 1. So you're not even a 115 killer for most of the match. So yeah, this is not the character to be globetrotting around on. You can't just kind of like do what you're doing where you're like, I'm gonna hook a person on one end of the map and then go walk to the other side of the map. You gotta rely on those hotspots that I was talking about. Hooking people in one area, forcing your chases in one area, and forcing people to come to you because you don't have the ability to have a map presence like a lot of other killers do. But you tried to, and you saw how that didn't work out for you. And that was probably the second biggest thing I saw, is you actually were creating situations where you didn't need that. And then you just leave them for no reason. All 2 whole years.
Thanks for having me for 2 years, dude.
Of course. Lily, of course. Yeah, that's a long time. That's a long time to be anywhere, much less in a Twitch stream. I really, really appreciate that. That's super duper kind of you. Thank you. Hopefully you're doing well today, man. That is super sweet and sentimental. Hopefully you're well. Also, I think the last thing I'm going to leave you with in terms of your main takeaways is get perks that synergize with your base kit or synergize with your playstyle. You throw on Dissolution, you never use it once. You throw on Save, but like it doesn't really synergize well with Myers' kit or with like the way you're playing. So I would get perks that fit your playstyle a bit more. If you want to go like, for example, we were, you know, your second takeaway talking about like wanting to be around the map and wanting to go around the map a lot. Run like barbecue. Run barbecue and chili. That way when you hook somebody, you can tell if somebody's far away if you want to go pressure them. Because there are a lot of times where you're globetrotting across the map, just kind of aimlessly hoping somebody was over there, and they weren't, and that was a lot of wasted time, and match time is gen time. If you run barbecue and chili, you can tell if somebody's far away unless they're using distortion. So you can, if you want to do that thing where you hook somebody in one place and go to the other to immediately pressure somebody, run a perk that synergizes with that. Don't run Dissolution that you get 0 value out of. So, yeah. That would be my advice for you.